Welcome to my channel, English Speaking. Today, I want to share something with you that changed the way I think about learning English. Something simple, something honest, something that most learners never hear clearly enough. But before we begin, I want to say this directly. If you have been studying English for months or even years and you still feel nervous when you try to speak, if words disappear when you need them most, if your mouth does not move the way your brain wants it to, then this lesson is exactly for you. And I want you to stay until the end. Because by the end of this session, you will have a complete and practical system for learning English the natural way, the way your brain was always designed to learn. And if you are not yet subscribed to English Speaking, please do it right now. Every week, we bring you new lessons, new stories, and new speaking practice sessions designed for real English learners who want to speak with real confidence. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and join thousands of learners around the world who are on this journey with you. You are not alone here, and this community is a place where your English can grow. Now, let us begin with a question. A simple but powerful question. Have you ever watched a small child learn to speak? Not study, not memorize vocabulary lists, not sit at a desk with a grammar book. Just learn. Naturally, day by day, moment by moment. A baby wakes up and hears sounds. The baby hears voices. The baby hears words connected to faces, to food, to warmth, to need. The baby does not understand everything at first, but the baby keeps listening. The baby keeps absorbing. And then one day, something extraordinary happens. The baby speaks. Not perfectly, not with correct grammar, not with impressive vocabulary, just one word, then two, then a small broken sentence, then slowly, over time, full sentences, natural sentences, confident sentences. And here's what I want you to think about. That child did not study English. That child lived English. And there is a very big difference between those two things. Now think about yourself. You have studied English. You have worked hard. You have opened textbooks and memorized vocabulary and studied grammar rules. And maybe you can read English well. Maybe you can understand quite a lot when you listen. But when it is time to speak, something stops you. The words you studied are not there. The sentences you practiced do not come out. Your mouth freezes. Your mind goes quiet. And that feeling of frustration arrives again. I want to tell you something important right now. That experience does not mean you are bad at English. It does not mean you cannot learn. It means one thing and one thing only. Your method has not matched how your brain naturally learns language. Say this with me. My method was wrong. My brain is not wrong. Say it again. My method was wrong. My brain is not wrong. That is the truth. Your brain knows how to learn language. It proved that when you learned your first language, you did not study your mother tongue from a textbook. You lived it. You heard it. You copied it. You used it in real moments. You made mistakes and continued. And one day it became natural. That same system is still inside you. It did not disappear. You only stopped using it. Today, we are going to wake that system up again. Together. Now, I want to explain something that will help you understand why the baby method works so powerfully. There are two ways to acquire language. The first way is called learning. This is what most schools teach. You study grammar rules. You memorize vocabulary. You analyze sentence structures. You take tests. This kind of learning builds knowledge about English. It helps you understand the language as a system, but it does not automatically make you a speaker. Because speaking is not knowledge. Speaking is a skill, and skills are built differently from knowledge. The second way is called acquisition. This is how babies learn. This is how you learned your first language. Acquisition happens when you hear English in real situations again and again. When your brain connects words with meaning, with images, with emotions, with actions. When patterns enter your mind not as rules to memorize, but as natural rhythms that start to feel familiar. Acquisition does not come from a textbook. It comes from experience, from listening, from using, from living the language. And the powerful truth is this: your brain is still capable of acquisition, even as an adult, even right now. The pathway is still there. You only need to feed it the right input in the right way. Think about this for a moment. When you were a child learning your first language, nobody sat you down and explained the rules of grammar before you could speak. Nobody said, first you must learn the present tense, then the past tense, then the conditional, and only after all of that you may begin speaking. That never happened. You heard the language. You absorbed it. You copied it. You used it, and the grammar became natural through use, not through explanation. Speaking English can feel exactly the same way if you give your brain the right conditions. So let us talk about those conditions, because this is where the practical work begins. And this is where your English journey changes direction. The first condition is listening. And I want to be very clear about what I mean when I say listening. I do not mean passive background noise. I do not mean having English on television while you look at your phone. I mean active, focused, daily listening to English that you can understand and that connects to your real life. A baby listens before speaking. For months and months before one clear word arrives, the baby is listening. The brain is working quietly. Sounds are entering. Patterns are forming. Connections between words and meaning are building slowly underneath the surface. And then, when speaking comes, it comes from a foundation of listening that is already solid. Many English learners try to speak before they have listened enough. They want fluency, but they have not given their brain enough English to work from. And so speaking feels like pulling words from an empty place. So here is your first practice for today. Listen to this sentence. Say it slowly after me. I listen before I speak. Say it. I listen before I speak. Good. Now say it again with confidence. I listen before I speak. And one more time with feeling. I listen before I speak. That sentence is your first principle. And it is more than a sentence. It is a practice instruction. Before you try to speak more, listen more. Before you practice output, build your input. Let English enter your ears every single day. Not for hours, just consistently. 10 focused minutes of daily listening is worth more than 2 hours of distracted study once a week. Now, let us also address something emotional. Because learning a language as an adult has an emotional side that nobody talks about enough. When a baby makes a mistake, nobody laughs. Nobody corrects harshly. The environment is safe. The people around the baby respond with warmth and encouragement. The baby feels free to try, to fail, to try again. As an adult learner, your environment is different. People might judge. You might feel embarrassed. You compare yourself to fluent speakers and feel far behind. And so your brain creates a protective response. It says, do not try. Stay silent. Wait until you are ready. Wait until you are perfect. But perfect never comes from waiting. Perfect comes from practice. And practice requires safety. So one of the most important things you can do right now is create a safe space for your English. A space where mistakes are allowed, where trying is celebrated, where imperfect English is seen as evidence of courage, not failure. This channel is that space. And every time you speak English here, even in a comment, even in a quiet whisper to yourself. You are practicing in that safe space. So use it. We are here with you. Now, before we move to the next section, I want to ask you to do something small. Write one sentence in the comments below. It can be your answer to this question. What is one thing you find difficult about speaking English? Write it in English, even if it is short, even if it is simple. Let your English live here. Let this community see your voice. Now let us talk about the second condition for learning English like a baby. And this one is something that most adult learners almost never do. Not because it is difficult, but because it feels strange at first. It feels a little uncomfortable. It feels almost too simple to be useful. But I promise you, once you start doing this consistently, your English will begin to change in a way that surprises you. The second condition is copying. Not copying text. Not copying grammar rules. Copying sounds. Copying rhythm. Copying the music of English. Let me explain what I mean. When a baby hears a parent say something, the baby does not write it down. The baby does not analyze the grammar. The baby does something completely different. The baby tries to make the same sound. The baby copies the tone. The baby copies the rhythm. The baby copies the feeling behind the words. And the baby does this again and again and again. Not once, not twice, many, many times. Until the sound starts to feel familiar in the mouth. Until the voice knows how to shape the words naturally. This is not just cute behavior. This is how the brain and the body learn to produce language together. Because speaking is not only a mental skill, speaking is also a physical skill. Your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your breath, your voice. They all need to practice the movements of English. They need to learn the shape of English sounds. And the only way they learn that shape is by copying and repeating. Think about learning to play a musical instrument. You can read about music theory. You can understand how notes work. You can study rhythm on paper. But until your fingers touch the instrument and begin to practice the physical movements, you cannot play. Speaking English is the same. Your voice is the instrument, and it needs physical practice. This technique has a name in language learning. It is called shadowing. And it is one of the most powerful tools available to any English learner at any level. Here is how shadowing works. You listen to a sentence of English. Then immediately, without waiting, without thinking too long, you repeat it. You try to copy not only the words, but also the speed, the rhythm, the pauses, and the emotion. You speak like a shadow of the original voice, close behind it, following its shape as accurately as you can. Let us practice shadowing right now. Together. I will say a sentence, then you repeat it immediately. Do not wait. Do not think about grammar. Just copy the sound and the feeling. Listen. I am learning English every day. Now, you say it. I am learning English every day. Good. Now, say it again a little more naturally. I am learning English every day. And one more time with real confidence in your voice. I am learning English every day. Do you feel how the sentence becomes more comfortable each time you say it? That comfort is your mouth learning the shape of those words. That is physical memory beginning to form. Let us try another one. Listen carefully to the rhythm of this sentence. It is not easy, but I will not give up. Now, you say it. It is not easy, but I will not give up. Again, with the natural rhythm. It is not easy, but I will not give up. One more time with feeling. It is not easy, but I will not give up. Notice something about that sentence. There is a natural pause after the word easy. It is not easy, but I will not give up. That pause is part of the rhythm of the sentence. When you shadow correctly, you copy those pauses too. You copy the breathing. You copy the flow, not just the words. Now let me tell you something important about shadowing that many learners do wrong. They repeat sentences in a flat, mechanical voice. They say the words correctly, but without any feeling, any tone, any life. And that kind of repetition does not help as much as it could. Because language is not only words, language is music. It has high notes and low notes. It has fast moments and slow moments. It has sentences that rise in energy and sentences that fall into calm. When you copy all of that, your English becomes alive. Let me show you what I mean. Here is a sentence said in a flat, mechanical way. I do not understand. Now here is the same sentence with natural English rhythm and feeling. I do not understand. Did you hear the difference? The second version has movement. It has a natural rise on the word understand. It sounds like something a real person would actually say in a real moment. That is what you are practicing when you shadow. Not just words, real human sound. Now here is something that beginners often worry about when they start shadowing. They worry about their accent. They think, I cannot sound like a native speaker. I will always have an accent. And so they feel embarrassed to copy English sounds fully. They hold back. They imitate only a little. I want to speak to this directly and honestly. You do not need to remove your accent. You do not need to sound like you were born in London or New York or Sydney. Your accent is part of you. It is part of your identity. And accents do not prevent communication. What matters is that your English sounds are clear enough to be understood easily. And shadowing helps you build exactly that kind of clarity. Not by removing who you are, but by training your mouth to produce English sounds with more precision and more confidence. So when you shadow, do not hold back. Exaggerate a little. Copy the rhythm fully. Let your voice be loud enough to hear. This is practice. Nobody is grading you. The only thing that matters is that your mouth is moving and your voice is working. Let us practice a longer shadowing sequence now. I will give you 5 sentences. Say each one immediately after you hear it. Copy the rhythm, copy the feeling. Do not pause to think. I wake up every morning and I practice English. Say it. I wake up every morning and I practice English. My English is improving a little every day. Say it. My English is improving a little every day. I am not afraid of making mistakes. Say it. I am not afraid of making mistakes. Every sentence I speak makes me stronger. Say it. Every sentence I speak makes me stronger. I am becoming an English speaker. Say it. I am becoming an English speaker. Now say all 5 in a row, without stopping. Like a continuous piece of music. I wake up every morning and I practice English. My English is improving a little every day. I am not afraid of making mistakes. Every sentence I speak makes me stronger. I am becoming an English speaker. Did you notice something? When you say them in a row, they start to flow together. One sentence carries you into the next. That flow is the beginning of fluency, not perfect grammar, not impressive vocabulary, that natural forward movement from one thought to the next. That is what fluency feels like, and you just practiced it. Now I want to teach you a practical shadowing routine that you can use every day. It takes only 10 minutes, and if you follow it consistently, your speaking will change. Here is the routine. Choose one short piece of English. It can be a sentence from this lesson. It can be a short dialogue. It can be a sentence from a video or a podcast. It should be something you can mostly understand. Not too easy, not too difficult. Step 1, listen to it once without repeating. Just listen. Pay attention to the rhythm and the feeling. Step 2, Listen again and whisper along, very quietly, just your lips moving, getting familiar with the shape of the sounds. Step 3. Listen again and say it out loud. Full voice. Copy the rhythm as closely as you can. Step 4. Say it again without listening, from your own memory, your own voice, your own rhythm. Step 5. Record yourself saying it. Listen back. Notice where your version feels similar to the original and where it feels different. Not to judge yourself, just to observe, just to learn. Do that routine with one sentence or one short dialogue every day. Just one, just 10 minutes. And watch what happens over weeks. Now, here is a very important truth about this kind of practice. The progress is not always visible immediately. Sometimes you practice for a week and you think, I am not sure this is working. But then one day, in a real conversation, a sentence comes out of your mouth naturally, without thinking, without hesitating, and you realize it was there all along. The practice was building it quietly. Like roots growing underground before the plant appears above the surface. That is how shadowing works. It builds your voice from the inside, slowly, strongly, permanently. Let us end this section with one final shadowing practice. This time, the sentences are about your English journey. Say each one with real conviction, with real feeling, as if you are making a promise to yourself. I choose to practice English every day. Say it. I choose to practice English every day. I copy sounds until they feel natural. Say it. I copy sounds until they feel natural. My voice is getting stronger with every practice. Say it. My voice is getting stronger with every practice. I do not wait for perfect. I speak now and I improve as I go. Say it. I do not wait for perfect. I speak now and I improve as I go. Those are not just English sentences. Those are true statements about what you are doing right now. You are practicing. You are copying. You are building. And that is something worth saying out loud. Now we arrive at something that I think will feel like a relief, because this next idea removes the pressure of sitting down to study. It removes the feeling that English practice is something you have to schedule, prepare for, and force yourself through. It replaces all of that with something much more natural, much more enjoyable, and much more effective. The third condition for learning English like a baby is this: connect English with your real life, not with a textbook, not with a grammar exercise, with your actual daily life, the things you see every morning, the sounds you hear every day, the objects you touch, the food you eat, the music you love, the videos you watch, the small ordinary moments that fill your hours from the time you wake up to the time you fall asleep. Think about how a baby learns the word cup. The baby does not read the word cup on a vocabulary list. The baby sees the cup. The baby touches the cup. The baby watches someone drink from the cup. The baby hears the word cup said in a real moment with a real feeling attached to it. And because the word arrived connected to a real experience, the brain holds on to it strongly, permanently, in a way that a vocabulary list never achieves. This is what context-based learning means, and it is one of the most powerful principles in all of language acquisition. Words connected to real experience stay. Words disconnected from real life disappear. So your question right now should not be, how do I study more English? Your question should be, how do I connect English to the life I am already living? And the answer is everywhere around you. Let us start with music, because music is one of the most powerful English learning tools that exists, and most learners either use it passively or not at all. When you listen to a song in English, something special happens. The melody carries the words into your memory in a way that plain speech cannot. You have probably experienced this already. You hear a song once, twice, 3 times, and suddenly you realize you know the words without ever deliberately memorizing them. That is not an accident. That is your brain doing exactly what it does when a baby absorbs language through repetition and emotional connection. So, here is how to use music actively for your English. Choose a song you genuinely like. Not a song someone told you is good for English learning, a song that makes you feel something. That feeling is what locks the language into your memory. Listen to it once just for enjoyment, then listen again and read the lyrics at the same time. Notice the words. Notice which ones you know and which ones are new. Notice how the words sit inside the melody, how some words are stretched and some are short, how the stress of the music often matches the natural stress of the English language. Then do something that feels a little brave. Sing along, quietly if you need to, in a whisper if that feels safer. But move your mouth through the words. Let your voice follow the melody. Because when you sing English, you are shadowing with rhythm and emotion already built in. You are copying sound in the most natural and enjoyable way possible. Try this with any song you love, and notice what happens after 1 week of singing the same song every day. The words will be inside you, not memorized by force, absorbed by joy. Now let us talk about videos, because most learners already watch English videos, but most learners watch them passively. They let the English wash over them without engaging actively with what they hear, and passive watching produces much less learning than active watching. Here's how to change that. When you watch an English video, choose one that is at a level where you understand most of what is being said. Not everything. Around 70 or 80%. Your brain can work with that. It can guess the meaning of unfamiliar words from context. And that guessing process is itself a powerful form of learning. As you watch, when you hear a phrase that sounds natural and useful, pause. Say it out loud. Copy the way the speaker said it. Not just the words, the rhythm, the speed, the tone. Then continue watching. After the video ends, try to remember 2 or 3 phrases from what you heard. Say them out loud. Use them in a simple sentence of your own. This takes only 2 or 3 extra minutes after each video, but it transforms passive watching into active language building. For example, you are watching a cooking video in English. The chef says, "I am going to add a little bit of salt here." You pause, you say it, "I am going to add a little bit of salt here." Then you say your own version. "I am going to add a little bit of sugar here." Or, "I am going to make a little bit of coffee now." You have just taken one phrase and made it yours. That is how language acquisition works, not through memorization, through adoption. You hear something natural, you copy it, you adjust it to fit your own life, and slowly it becomes part of your English voice. Now, let us bring English into the physical space around you. Your room, your kitchen, your bag, your desk, your phone. Everything around you right now has a name in English, and every action you perform today has an English description. Most learners never use these moments. They save English for study time and then put it away. But a baby does not put language away. A baby lives inside language all day. Every moment is a language moment, so let us practice right now. Look around wherever you are. Say the name of 3 objects you can see, in English, out loud. Go. Maybe you said phone. Maybe you said chair. Maybe you said window or door or cup or bag. Good. Now say a complete sentence about each one. This is my phone. I use it every day. The chair is comfortable. The window is open. Say those. Complete sentences. Not just words. Now let us add actions. When you wake up tomorrow morning, describe what you are doing in English as you do it. Not in your head. Out loud. Even quietly. Even in a whisper. I am opening my eyes. The room is quiet. I feel a little sleepy. I am getting up slowly. My feet touch the floor. The floor is cold. I walk to the bathroom. I turn on the light. Practice saying those sentences tomorrow morning. They are simple. They are real. And when you connect English to a physical action you are performing at that exact moment, the language enters your memory through multiple channels at once, through hearing, through speaking, through physical sensation, and through real experience. That is 4 times the strength of reading a word from a list. And here is something wonderful. You can do this anywhere, at any time, without any extra equipment, without any preparation, without any cost. When you are cooking, say what you are doing. I am cutting the onion. The onion makes my eyes water. I am adding oil to the pan. The oil is hot. The food smells delicious. I am so hungry. When you are walking outside, describe what you see. The street is busy today. There are many cars. The sky is gray and cloudy. That coffee shop smells wonderful. 2 people are talking outside the bookshop. When you are in a shop, look at products and say their names in English. Shampoo, toothpaste, bread, milk, orange juice, batteries. I need to find the pasta. Where is the pasta aisle? Here it is. Perfect. Every one of those moments is an English lesson. Free, natural, immediate, connected to your real life exactly the way a baby's language learning is connected to theirs. Now let me give you one more powerful idea for this section. Environmental labeling. This is something very simple that creates a surprisingly strong effect on your vocabulary memory. Take small pieces of paper or sticky notes. Write the English name of objects around your home on them. Then stick them on the objects. Put the word mirror on your mirror. Put the word fridge on your refrigerator. Put the word switch on your light switch. Put the word window on your window. Every time you see that object during your day, your eyes read the English word. Your brain makes the connection again, and again, and again, without any deliberate effort, without any study session. The repetition happens naturally as you move through your own home. After 1 week, remove the labels and notice something surprising. When you look at the mirror, the word mirror arrives in your mind automatically. When you open the fridge, the word arrives without effort, because your brain encountered it enough times in a real context to store it permanently. This is exactly what a baby experiences. The same word, connected to the same object, in the same real place, again and again, until it becomes impossible to forget. Your home is your first English classroom. Your daily routine is your first English curriculum. Your real life is your most powerful teacher. You do not need to create special study time for all of this. You only need to bring English into the time you are already living. And when you do that consistently, something begins to shift. English stops feeling like a subject you study and starts feeling like a part of your daily experience. That shift is the beginning of everything. That is when fluency starts to become real. Before we move forward, here is your practice for today. Choose one moment from your daily routine, just one. Maybe it is your morning coffee. Maybe it is your commute. Maybe it is cooking dinner. And for that one moment today, narrate what you are doing in English. Out loud, simple sentences, real actions, real feelings. I am making my coffee. The water is boiling. I love the smell of coffee in the morning. I feel more awake now. Today is going to be a good day. Just that. just one moment, in English, out loud, today. Now I want to talk to you about something that is happening inside your brain every time you try to speak English. Something invisible. Something that most learners never think about consciously, but once you understand it, you will see immediately why your speaking feels slow sometimes. And more importantly, you will know exactly what to do about it. Here is what happens for most English learners in a real conversation. Someone speaks to you in English. Your ears receive the sounds. Your brain immediately translates those sounds into your first language. Now you understand the meaning. Good. But now you need to respond. So you think of your answer in your first language, then you try to translate that answer into English. Then you check if the grammar seems correct. Then finally you try to speak the English version of what you wanted to say. Count the steps. Listen. Translate into your language. Think in your language. Translate into English. Check grammar. Speak. That is 6 steps between hearing a question and answering it. 6 steps that take time. More time than a natural conversation allows. And so you feel slow. You feel behind. The moment passes, and you feel frustrated. Now watch what happens when a baby processes language. Someone says something to the baby hears it, the baby reacts. That is it. 2 steps. Hear and react. There is no translation layer. There is no intermediate language. The English sound connects directly to meaning, and meaning connects directly to response. That direct connection is what we call thinking in English. And it is not something that only advanced learners can do. It is something you can begin building today, right now, with the simplest thoughts and the simplest words. But first, let me be honest with you about something. Thinking in English does not mean you must always think in full perfect sentences. It does not mean your inner monologue suddenly switches completely from your language to English overnight. That is not how it works. And if you expect that, you will feel discouraged. What thinking in English really means is this. You start having small English thoughts connected to small real moments. And those small thoughts grow over time into longer thoughts. And those longer thoughts become natural English reactions instead of translated English responses. Let me show you what small English thoughts look like in practice. You pick up your phone in the morning. Instead of thinking about it in your first language, you think in English. My phone. I need to check my messages. You open the fridge. You think in English. I am hungry. What do I want to eat? You look outside and see rain. You think in English. It is raining today. I need my umbrella. Those thoughts are tiny, completely simple. But they are English thoughts. They arrived without translation, without grammar checking, without effort. And every time you have one of those tiny English thoughts, you are training the direct connection between experience and English language. You are slowly removing the translation layer. You are teaching your brain to react in English instead of translating into English. Let us practice this right now together. I am going to describe a simple situation, and I want you to react immediately in English. Do not translate. Do not think. Just say the first English words that come to you. Simple is perfect. You wake up and you feel very tired. What do you think? Say it now. Maybe you said, I am so tired, or I need more sleep, or I do not want to get up. Any of those is correct. Any of those is English thought without translation. You look outside and the sky is beautiful and blue. What do you think? Say it now. Maybe you said beautiful day, or the sky is amazing, or I want to go outside. Perfect. Simple English reactions to real visual experience. You smell something delicious cooking in the kitchen. What do you think? Say it now. Maybe you said that smells so good, or I am hungry, or what is cooking. Any reaction in English is the right answer. Do you feel what is happening? You are not constructing sentences. You are reacting. And reaction is so much faster than construction. Reaction is what fluent speaking feels like, and you just practiced it. Now let me give you a more structured exercise for building English thinking over time. I call it the 2-minute English mind. And it is exactly what it sounds like. Every day, take 2 minutes and think only in English. Not speak. Just think. Inside your mind. In English. Look around wherever you are right now and describe what you see in your mind in English. Simple sentences. Simple words. I am sitting in my room. The room is quiet. There is a cup on the table. The cup is white. Outside the window, I can see a tree. The leaves are moving. There is a small wind today. I feel calm. I like this moment. You just spent 30 seconds thinking in English, without speaking out loud, without grammar pressure, without anyone listening. Just your mind practicing direct English thought. Do that every day. Start with 2 minutes. After 1 week, increase to 3 minutes. After 2 weeks, 5 minutes. The goal is not to think in perfect English. The goal is to keep your mind inside English for those minutes without switching back to your first language. And here is what will happen. Slowly, naturally, your brain begins to have English thoughts outside of your practice time too. You see your coffee, and the word coffee arrives in English before your own language word does. You feel tired, and the sentence, "I am so tired," appears in English automatically. You hear a song, and your brain processes the lyrics directly without translating. These are the signs that the translation layer is dissolving. That direct connection is forming. That English is beginning to live inside your mind instead of just passing through it. Now, I want to address something that comes up at this point for many learners. They say, but what if I do not know the English word for something I want to think? What happens then? This is a great question, and the answer is also what a baby would do. You work around it. When a baby does not know a word, the baby does not stop communicating. The baby points. The baby makes a gesture. The baby uses the words nearby that they do know. The baby says the thing that is close to what they mean. You can do the same in your English thinking. If you cannot remember the English word for something, describe it. That thing in the kitchen where you keep food cold. That long stick you use to write. The noise that cars make when they go fast past you. Using descriptions instead of exact words is not a failure of English. It is a fluency skill. It is exactly what fluent speakers do when they cannot immediately recall a specific word. They describe. They continue. They do not stop. So when you are thinking in English and a word does not come, keep thinking. Describe the thing. Use the nearby words. Keep your mind in English. Do not switch back to your first language to find the word and then translate it. Stay in English. Work around it. That staying is the practice. That is where the real brain training happens. Let us do one more exercise together before we move to the next section. This one is called the reaction chain. I will give you one simple situation. You react with one English sentence. Then that sentence leads naturally to another, and that one leads to another, like a chain. Like a conversation with yourself. Ready? Here is the situation. You just finished a long day of work or study. React now in English. Start the chain. Maybe your chain sounds something like this. I am tired today. It was a very long day, but I feel good because I worked hard. I want to eat something warm for dinner. Then I want to rest. Maybe I will watch something in English tonight. That will be nice. And tomorrow, I will practice English again. 8 connected sentences. All simple, all natural, all flowing from one to the next without translation, without grammar checking, without stopping. That chain is English thinking in action. And with practice, those chains become longer, faster, more natural, more automatic, until one day you realize that your first reaction to almost any situation is an English thought, not a translated one, a real, direct, immediate English thought. That is the shift you are working toward, and you are already moving in that direction. Every small English thought you have today is one step closer. Here is your practice before we continue. Today, every time you pick up your phone, think one English sentence about what you are about to do. Just one. I am going to call my friend. I want to check the weather. I am going to watch a video. I need to reply to this message. One sentence, in English, before you do the action. Every time you pick up your phone today. That small habit practiced consistently for 1 week will begin to change how your brain relates to English, from something external that you study to something internal that you use to navigate your own life. Now, we arrive at the final section of today's lesson, and I want to use this time carefully, because I do not want to simply summarize what we covered. I want to leave you with something that stays, something practical, something you will actually do tomorrow morning, and the morning after that, and the morning after that. But before I give you the system, I need to say something honest about the one thing that stops more English learners than any grammar rule, any vocabulary gap, or any pronunciation challenge. And that thing is the fear of making mistakes. Think about a baby learning to walk. The baby falls. Many times. Every day. Sometimes the baby falls in front of other people. Sometimes the baby falls and it looks funny. Sometimes the baby bumps into things and makes noise. And do you know what the baby does after every single fall? The baby gets back up. The baby tries again. The baby does not sit on the floor and think, I am bad at walking. The baby does not decide to wait until it can walk perfectly before trying again. The baby just gets up and tries again and again and again. Until one day, walking is so natural that the baby does not even think about it. Your English speaking is that baby learning to walk. And every time you open your mouth and try, even imperfectly, even with the wrong word, even with a grammar mistake, even with a shaking voice, you are taking a step. And steps, repeated daily, become a walk. And a walk, practiced long enough, becomes something you do without thinking. The problem is that adults have something babies do not have. Adults have an image to protect. Adults worry about what other people think. Adults feel embarrassed when they sound like beginners because they are adults and adults are supposed to know things. And so the fear of looking foolish creates silence, and silence creates stagnation, and stagnation feels like the proof that you cannot learn English. But it is not proof of that at all. It is only proof that fear was louder than courage on that day. So I want to give you something practical for those moments, for the moments when you are speaking English and your mind goes blank, when the word disappears, when the sentence falls apart in the middle, when you feel the fear arriving. Instead of going silent, say one of these phrases. Practice them now. Say each one after me. Let me try that again. Say it. Let me try that again. I know what I want to say. Give me one moment. Say it. I know what I want to say. Give me one moment. Sorry, I lost the word. What I mean is. Say it. Sorry, I lost the word. What I mean is. Can I say that in a simpler way? Say it. can I say that in a simpler way? I am still learning English, but I am trying. Say it. I am still learning English, but I am trying. Those 5 phrases are your safety net. They keep you inside the conversation when your brain stumbles. They show the other person that you are engaged, that you care, that you are not giving up, and they give you the seconds you need to find your words. Practice them until they arrive automatically, because when fear comes, you will not have time to remember them. They need to already be there. And remember this: the learner who speaks every day and makes 20 mistakes is growing faster than the learner who stays silent to avoid 1 mistake, because the silent learner is practicing silence. And silence does not become English. Speaking becomes English. Imperfect, brave, daily speaking. Now let us build your complete system, because a baby does not learn from random occasional moments. A baby learns because language is present every single day, every morning, every afternoon, every evening, consistently, without gaps. And that daily consistency is exactly what your English brain needs too. Here is your 20-minute daily system, built on everything we practiced together today. The first 10 minutes are for listening. This is the most important part. This is your daily English input, your brain's daily feeding. And I want to be very specific about what this means, because how you listen matters as much as how long you listen. Do not listen to something too difficult. Choose English that you understand around 70 to 80% of. Simple stories, slow conversations, English lessons like this one. Podcasts for learners, songs you enjoy. The level should feel comfortable, but not completely effortless. Your brain should be working gently, not struggling. And here is the most important instruction for your listening practice. Do not change the content every day. This is where most learners make a critical mistake. They listen to one video today, a different podcast tomorrow, a new story the day after. They are always consuming new content but never absorbing anything deeply. Because deep absorption requires repetition. It requires your brain to meet the same language again and again until the patterns become automatic. So choose one piece of English. Maybe it is one episode of a podcast. Maybe it is one story. Maybe it is one lesson from this channel. And listen to it 3 times before you move to something new. First time for general meaning. Second time to notice words and phrases. Third time to speak along quietly. 3 listens. Same content. 3 completely different levels of engagement with the same language. This channel publishes new English content every week. New stories, new conversations, new practice sessions. Each one designed exactly for this kind of deep, daily listening. When you subscribe to English Speaking and listen to each new video 3 times before the next one arrives, you are giving your brain exactly the consistent, repeated, well-leveled English input that it needs to begin building automatic language. The same way a baby hears the same words in the same house every single day until they become natural. So, subscribe right now if you have not already. Turn on notifications so you never miss a new session. And make the decision that every new video from this channel becomes your listening content for the week. 3 listens, deep engagement, real absorption. The next 5 minutes of your daily system are for copying and speaking. This is your shadowing practice. Take 2 or 3 sentences from what you just listened to and repeat them out loud, with rhythm and feeling. Copy the sound as closely as you can. Then vary them slightly. Make them your own. I am learning English every day. I am practicing English every morning. I am improving my English with every session. Take one pattern and move through it in different directions. If you have a song you are learning this week, Use these 5 minutes to sing it, even just one verse, even quietly. Let your voice and the English music work together. The final 5 minutes are for thinking in English. Close your eyes if that helps, or look out a window and let your mind move through English thoughts connected to your day. What happened today? What you are planning tomorrow? What you see around you right now? What you feel? Do not force perfect sentences. Just let English thoughts flow. 2 minutes is enough. 3 is even better. 5 is powerful. 20 minutes total. 10 listening. 5 speaking. 5 thinking. Every day. Without exception. Not every day when you feel motivated. Every day. Because motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Habits are decisions. And once you make the decision that 20 minutes of English is a non-negotiable part of your daily life, the same way brushing your teeth or drinking water is non-negotiable, everything changes. Your brain stops treating English as an optional activity. It starts treating English as a natural part of daily existence. Exactly the way a baby's brain treats language. Now, I want to give you a 30-day challenge, not a dramatic challenge, a quiet, consistent daily one. For the next 30 days, open English speaking every single day. Listen to the current lesson or story for 10 minutes. Speak along for 5 minutes. Think in English for 5 minutes. That is all. 20 minutes every day. For 30 days. On day 1, it will feel like practice. On day 7, it will feel like a habit forming. On day 15, it will feel more natural than it did on day 1. And on day 30, when you look back at the version of yourself who started this challenge, you will hear a difference. Your mouth will be more comfortable. Your brain will be faster. Your fear will be smaller. Not gone. Smaller. And smaller fear means more speaking. And more speaking means more fluency. And more fluency means more confidence. And more confidence means more speaking. That cycle, once it starts, becomes its own momentum. But it needs you to start it. It needs that first day. And then the second. And then the third. Today is the first day. Let us close this session the same way we always close at English speaking, with something true and something practical. The truth is this: you already have everything you need to learn English. Your brain is capable. Your voice is capable. Your life is full of material. You only needed a better method, and now you have one. Listen like a baby. Copy like a baby. Connect language to real life like a baby. Think directly without translating. Speak without waiting for perfection. Repeat until it feels natural. And do all of it every single day. The practical thing is this: subscribe to English Speaking right now. Leave a comment below with one English sentence. It can be as simple as "I am starting today," or "I will practice every day," or "I am not afraid anymore." One sentence. Your English. In this community. Right now. Share this lesson with one person who is learning English, because the baby method works better when you have someone to practice with, when you have someone to share your progress with, when you have someone who understands exactly how you feel because they are on the same journey. Your English voice is already inside you. It has been there all along. You just needed to remember how to let it out, the same way you let it out the very first time, as a small child, in your first language, without fear, without perfection, with only curiosity, repetition, and the simple brave act of opening your mouth and trying. Keep listening, keep copying, keep connecting, keep thinking, keep speaking, and keep coming back here every single day. We will be here every week. New content, new practice, new stories, designed for you, built for this journey. On English Speaking. See you tomorrow.